You ever hear a train whistle blow where no track runs? I did, up in Oconee. It sure as sin wasn't Norfolk Southern. A late night wander through Stumphouse Tunnel turns into a backwoods standoff with an old rail honk folks call the night whistler. Up the blue wall, rules ain't written down, but they're carved in stone, and the stone listens. Drove up past Walhalla near sundown, that blue rim of mountains stacking like storm clouds. Folks call it the Blue Wall for a reason. Road turned to gravel, pine pitch in the air, cicadas sawing like they had a grudge. Parked by the old rail cut where the mountains got a mouth, the Stumphouse Tunnel. Ain't no train ever finished through it, but the rock kept a secret anyway. I stepped out with a cheap flashlight and a thermos of gas station coffee. Air felt wet like a dog's nose. Down here, you don't whistle, you don't call anything by its real name, and you sure don't brag about being brave. That's how you get noticed. My granddaddy's buddy from Tomasi used to say the tunnel's got a tenant, not a demon, not a man, just a leftover. He warned, don't bring iron and don't bring pride. Iron calls iron, pride calls trouble, said the ones who dig rock and leave a place behind the size of a shadow. Now, I ain't superstitious, but I ain't stupid neither. I clipped my truck key to my belt, left my pocket knife under the seat. Pride? Well, I told myself I was just taking pictures for history's piece. That's what I call pride with a clean shirt on. Standing at the mouth, you feel it breathe. Drip, drip, drip off the old brick arch. Cold air sliding out like creek water. Flashlight beam got swallowed 20 feet in. The floor was mud and crushed rock, slick as catfish. Water ran in skinny ribbons along the rust-colored ruts. Kind of rails chew into dirt and don't forget. Something about that smell, metal and mildew, made the hairs on my arms vote no. I went yes anyway. One step, two, boots chewing mud, light jittering across wet granite ribs. Far back in there, the drip started to count, like it was tapping out a message I ain't learned yet. If you ever get a full idea and watch it walk right on its own 2 feet, I did. I puckered up, let off a low whistle just to see how far the echo ran. It came back wrong. My note went out like a skinny hound, and what came back was a freight roar. You know that rising wail a train gives when it's coming fast and mad? That from a hole in a mountain with no track. My light stuttered, mud tickled my boots like minnows, the whistle rolled past me deeper inside, then circled back like it was hunting. I killed my whistle and whispered, all right, you got it. But that was a waste of breath sound answered with a second blast. Closer. I aimed my light at the floor. Fresh prints in the thin skim of silk. Barefoot, wide as a man's hand, toes spread, water beating in the dips. The prints walked out of the dark like they'd been poured from a bucket. No heel marks, like the fella floated and just set his feet down for show. Pointed the beam higher, black walls glistening, old chalk marks from engineers half washed, and there on a spike hung something ragged as a wasp nest, a torn bit of oilcloth, stiff with age. The air changed. I got a nickel taste. The second whistle cut off mid-screen. What I heard next was worse. A lantern rattled, that little clink, clink, like a wire handle tapping tin. Light bloomed down tunnel, not bright, not right. Yellow as old teeth, it swung low like a hand carried it lazy. each sway throwing long ribs of shadows across the rock. I stepped to the side, back against the wall, mud up to my laces. He come round the bend easy as fog. Not bones and rags, not some TV ghoul. Looked like a shift man from 1850 that forgot to clock out. Beard scruffy, shirt open at the throat, and eyes that didn't blink, just wet and gray like river rock. He didn't look at me at first. He looked at my belt where that key ring hung. Little bite of iron. He lifted the lantern, let the flame split blue. He said nothing. His breath made no cloud, but the tunnel took a long breath for him, a whole train's worth, and my ribs learned how to be a bridge. I said, soft as I could, didn't mean to stir you. He tilted his head, friendly as a possum, then he raised 2 fingers and pointed deeper. I followed. What else was I going to do? The lantern never got closer or farther. Just right there at the edge of Brave, floor got firmer, the ruts turned sharp, like metal had kissed them for years. I heard timbers creak, but I didn't see any. Heard rails sing, didn't see those neither. But the song was as true as a railroad prayer, if I believed in such. We came to a fat seam where water seeped sweet and steady. The lantern stopped and dropped a notch. He set the hook there on the wall, flame canted, shivering. He reached up slow and pinched the wick. The light went to a P. In the last sliver of glow, his face gave up being a face and turned into a wet stone. Everything went black but the sound. From inside the mountain came clack, 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 like wheels hitting joints. Closer, louder. Then the whole tunnel breathed out hard. That whistle hit like a slap. The flashlight died on its own. I ain't proud of the little yip that jumped out of me. Wind rush passed from depths, cold enough to bite my teeth. Gravel skittered under my boots like it wanted out worse than I did. I felt it before I heard it, the mountain shifting just a hair, a big thing rolling over in its sleep. The blow wasn't from a train, it was a warning. I dropped to a knee, hand in the mud, other hand on the wall. It was humming. The rock was saying, stay low, not in words, in thrum. Somewhere in that roar, a single clean note threaded through, sweeter than the rest, like a fellow whistled to his mule, gentle, steady, the kind of sound that keeps your nerves together when the planks start to groan. When it all quit, it quit quick. The drip counted back like a metronome that'd taken a smoke break. I lit my flashlight with hands that didn't want to. Beam shook like a leaf. The oilcloth rag on the spike now looked like a flag asking for a breeze. I turned back to where the lantern had been. Nothing but wet rock. Barefoot prints smeared to nothing, like they stood up and walked back into the water. I looked at that belt clip with the truck key. Iron calls iron. Pride calls trouble. All right, I said in a voice hoarse. You saved my hide. Unclipped the ring, pulled the key free, slid the ring onto that old spike beside the rag, left it hanging there, a little circle that had known my pocket since high school. Fair trade. I figured the mountain keeps what it earns. Then I backed out slow, not turning my back till the air warmed and the bugs started singing like drunks in a bar. Outside, the sky was decked in stars, big as ticks. Pines hissed in the breeze like grease in a skillet. I walked back to the truck and grabbed the handle, stopped. I'd just given my key ring to a hole in the wall. That meant a spare key in the visor was all I had. I flipped the visor, key fell in my hand. When it hit my palm, I heard it way back in the trees. A short, soft whistle. Not a train, not a man showing off, more like we're square. I cranked the engine, Headlights wrote two chalk lines down the road. I eased off, watching the mirror, and the tunnel mouth got small, then smaller, then gone. You go up the blue wall, want to see a ghost, you're liable to get schooled instead. This place don't haunt you, it hires you out. You dig, you carry, you pay your due. Some of us pay with stories, some pay with iron. All I know is this: don't whistle where rails ain't. Don't walk into a mountain thinking it's empty. That's somebody's house. Next day, I bought another key ring. Silver one, cheap. It jangles. It reminds me, if you ever go to Stumphouse after dark, leave your pride in the glove box, your iron on the dash. If you forget, the night whistler will remind you. He's patient, he's union, he's still on shift, and he don't miss a blast. I left a key in that rock, and I took a lesson home. Up here, iron remembers, pride doesn't help, and a whistle could mean we're square. If you head to Stumphouse Mountain, mind your manners, mind your mouth. This ain't a theme park, it's somebody's house. If this story got under your skin, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Drop a comment if you've heard a train where no track runs, or if you've got a Carolina haunt I need to walk. Share this with one friend who swears ghosts ain't real. I'll see you on the next back road. Bring a light, leave the whistling.